Hey guys, it's Cosmochlo here, and today I'm going to be doing my foundation routine for the winter time. So this is my bare face, and the first thing I'm going to do is start off with moisturiser. I'm really sorry if I'm not looking always at the camera because my mirror is here, so this is probably where I'm going to be looking most of the time, but I'll try keep putting my head up. So let's get started. The moisturiser I'm going to use is the Soap & Glory Glow Job, and I'm going to use this because I've had a little bit of a fake tan today. It probably doesn't look it on camera, but I did fake tan. I actually fake tan one of my hands and not the other one. I know I can see that perfectly on camera. So my arms are fine, my shoulders are fine, and then you get to my hands. It's so embarrassing. So I have got a little bit of tan going up to my neck. I'm so bad at fake tanning. I think it was because last night I was actually in a rush, so it just caused me not to do the best fake tan I've ever done in my whole entire life. With this moisturiser, I actually really like it because it does give you that sun-kissed look. I just use my hands for my moisturiser in just circular motions. Can you already see how dark that is? Like, it's just amazing. Obviously, when you put your foundation on top of it, you can barely see it anyway, but I feel like it actually gives it like a good base coat. This this moisturiser is actually really good as well for, like, if you don't want to wear makeup and you do have a fake tan, or say you've covered up your whole entire body that's powder white but you've got your face out, like say like a day like today, I would go out and not show any skin because it will be so cold. But if I didn't want to wear foundation, I could just put this on and it would actually look really nice. That's the moisturiser done. Already you can see that I'm starting to look a little bit more tanned and full of colour. And then we're going to move on to the foundation. And the foundation I'm going to use is my MAC Studio Sculpt one in... what shade have I got this in? Oh, NC20. This isn't my shade. I definitely got darker, so this is obviously going to be a lot lighter than what it's going to be for the rest of my body, but it is going to be like my flawless look, and it does look okay. So I just put like a big blob on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I love these brushes. I only got them like the other day, and I just love them like so much. Like, oh. With your foundation, you're going to want to start from like your jawline inwards. A lot of people don't do this. I never used to do it, and sometimes I do forget, but like I always start with going from the jawline inwards, simply because you don't want to get that line and you don't want to like miss anything. So it's just always good to kind of go, right, there's my jawline, blend it in. You can bring it down to your neck, bring it behind your jawline. I always blend it in up through my ear, just like that. Just because I don't want anyone to be like, why has this girl got different coloured skin? To like, oh, I just don't want people thinking that I'm like some total weirdo who can't apply my foundation, because I've had those before. Like, we've all been there, where you go into school or work, because obviously I'm working now, no longer in school, and you have that line and you're so embarrassed by it, and you just think, God, no one noticed it. And when you have that line as well, it's because it's so dark, or so light or whatever, so it's so hard to get rid of half the time. Oh, it's so annoying. For the top of my head, I'm just dabbing that in and around my eyes, just dabbing. Only because I find with my skin on the top of my head, when I blend it, it just kind of looks like I've gone like stroke. So I like to tap it around first and then I blend it. You'll see what I mean. Does anyone else ever feel like an alien when they get to the end of doing their foundation? I'm quite bad when it comes to my foundation, in a sense. I will go over my lips, I'll go over my eyelids because I don't actually mind, whereas other people, because they don't do that, they don't get this like really alien pale look that I always get, and it's so annoying. But I love it. I like doing my foundation and then I'm like tempted to take a selfie with the alien emoji on Snapchat. Perfect. How's it look, guys? Looking good? I know. I'm a sexy mama. So once I cover my face with my foundation, I get my concealer, which is the Soap & Glory Kick-Ass Concealer. I have a love-hate relationship with this. Part of me is like, oh my god, this is actually really good, and then sometimes I'm like, why have I even bothered? But this side is to conceal around your eyes, which is why it's got a lot more pinky orangey tones, and then this side, which is more the yellow tones, is to fix any blemishes, which I do have quite a few. So my concealer brush I actually washed last night, so I don't have it on me, but I'm going to use the Real Techniques pointed foundation brush as a replacement. My concealer brush I use is actually the Eco Tools one. It's really, really good. The only issue is it does like get quite clunky quite quickly, and I don't know if that's because of the product or the brush, but I'm just going to use the pointed one for Real Techniques, and I'm going to use the little mirror that's on here so you might be able to see me a bit better. With this, you don't want to like wipe it on and like blend it really in. You just want to tap it on at first. Just make sure like you've covered all the areas. So you're just going to tap that on. Oh, what's that? What's that? Oh, I got eye gunk. Oh, eye gunk. It all happens. It happens, guys. We all know it happens. This side, I then kind of flip the brush over and then I start to like swipe it all in. Swipe, what is this? You'd think I was like an iPhone. Swipe. Swipe to apply makeup. Swipe to conceal. Swipe. Just like this. And with the other side, with the yellow bit, I'm just going to fix any blemishes on my face. So I'm just going to use my finger because I know I've only got a few. And again, I'm not going to blend it in. I'm just going to kind of wipe what I've got on my finger onto my skin where I have the blemishes. Usually as well, I do put it like around my nose area, above my brow. I literally just put it on my brow. Oops. Above my brow. Like so. And then you're going to grab, well, if you don't have one, you can use your foundation brush or concealer brush, but I'm going to grab my Real Techniques sponge, my beauty blender from Real Techniques. These are a very, very good option. By the way, you're just going to, with the flat side, tap it on, and you're going to do that over the concealer, but then you're going to do the whole face just to kind of give it a matte look. But with these, they're actually really good. The beauty blenders are so good, but they are massively different in price. So if you are like, oh, I can't afford that, definitely get one of these because they basically do the same thing and there's not actually much difference between them. And I love both of them like so much, but if this is like, because this is like a beginner routine, I just kind of want to use drugstore products. So I said I'm just going to tap all over my face just because I like to give it that matte look. I'm using another Real Techniques brush, the contour brush. I'm going to get my Saint Tropez bronzing powder, that's the one. And this is incredibly dark, like you can see it's so dark. I mentioned this in my favourites. So what I do is I lightly like do this, so I have literally the minimal amount of product on there. And then I'm going to use it to like contour, so I'm going to use it to go in my cheekbones and also like around the top of my head and also underneath my chin. This is just a lightly contour because I don't want anything heavy. I just want it to kind of give a little bit of definition to my face. So I always kind of start just around the temple and I just do very light motions. If I go really push onto my head, I feel like you're just gonna, it's just not gonna look good. So I just do really light motions. There's not a lot of product on the brush and there's barely any product going onto my skin, which is what I love so much because you can already see that is starting to come out. But if you do need more product, like, feel free to go get some. But I lightly do this just around the temples of my face. And just do little products at a time. You don't want, you'd rather do a little bit and build it up than put too much on and be like, crap, I can't go back from this now. And then with the cheekbones, I can't look like I'm doing a Vogue shoot. Just with the cheekbones, I kind of follow where my ear is, so the top of my ear, and I follow it down like this. Let me get a bit of product. So I'll follow it down. Again, lightly, not too much product. Can you see that little line? I go down like this, and then once I've got the line, I kind of go like this. So I go down and then out. So the down is to get the line, and then the out is to blend it. Don't bring it all the way down though. This is a mistake that people do. They go, ooh, and you're like, ah, like, don't do that. It's like the worst mistake you could do. So this side's contoured, this side hasn't. So we get a little bit more. Oh, you see, when you put too much product on it, it's fine. We'll blend it out. What I do afterwards, I then go over with my powder. So I'm going to use the Stay Matte Rimmel powder. I dropped this in my makeup bag and it smashed, so I need to get a new one, and it really upset me. It was near the end anyway, but it still really upset me because I was like, no, oh, it was horrible. But the reason why I do this like after I do like the contour is just because my contour is quite strong. So I like to, oh, I just dropped a bit, oh. I just like to blend it in a bit more, and then obviously I put bronzer on afterwards, so it's not like I've did that for no reason. With this though, I will, this is by the way is a Real Technique buffering brush, I will like cover my whole face, but where I did put the contour I might kind of avoid it, so I'll do this, and obviously I put the contour there, so I'm going to avoid that section. Just because you don't want to waste your time, but just for now, we're going to avoid it. After your pressed powder, you're going to get your bronzer. So mine is the MAC bronzing powder. Is it in a shade? I don't know if it has a shade. No, I don't know if it has a shade or if it says a shade, but it's just the MAC. No, you dropped it. It's just the MAC bronzing powder, and I'm going to use my Eco Tools big fluffy brush. It hasn't got a name, but it's this big one right here, and I'm just going to bronze. So it's kind of basically the same as the contour, but I'm going to bring it a little bit more higher. So because it's a big brush, it's going to cover a larger section, but again, I'm not going to bring it all the way down. I'm just going to stop like halfway down my face, and it's kind of just going over your contour. And people sometimes think this is pointless, but because this is a bigger brush and it covers more areas, so the bit that you've already covered in like your contour is going to have more definition, and the bit you didn't cover is going to have less definition. So it's going to have more colour everywhere. Like, can you already see what I mean? Like, this bit looks darker than this bit, but this bit looks darker than this bit. It's basically what I mean. And I only put on a little bit like that. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to use a blusher. Now this is a Rimmel blusher in Santa Rose. I bought this absolutely ages ago, and I mean it was like one of my first things I ever bought, and like I've just kept it, and I barely like ever wear it, but I do love it. And going back to Real Techniques again, I'm going to use their Bold Metals 300 brush, so 300. But I like barely use this, but I love it, and it was like my first blush. How insane. And you're just going to put it on the apples of your cheeks. Just to give a little bit more colour, a little bit more life to you. Because after all, I do look a little bit like an alien with contour. so that is my foundation routine done, winter edition. Other videos I've watched do go on to do the eyebrows, the eyes, the mouth, like everything. I kind of want to stop it here because it is just about my foundation routine and I feel like it is long enough already. So this is the finished look. Once I've done all my makeup, you will see how it looks overall. So I'm going to finish my makeup and show you at the end what it looks like. But for now, this is how the foundation looks on its own, and I think it's lovely for the winter because you still have that pale face, but with the contour, blush was pink. It does kind of give you that rosy cheek look, which everyone wants in the winter time. So I really love it. It is my winter edition of the foundation routine, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm now going to insert what I looked like when I completed my makeup. So I will catch you in my next video. Bye!